All right, ladies and gentlemen, we began the show
4
3
minutes.
minutes ago,
Well, 4 minutes now.
and
We were expecting.
we were talking into thin air.
Well, no, not exactly.
Dimitri didn't have the recording set up right.
Yeah, somebody.
I did all the work to prepare the show, and I just asked him to do the technical part, and he
Yeah.
kind of let us down.
Somebody hit the mute button. And
Yeah.
but one of the two of us hit the mute button, and it wasn't me.
So
we started the show on mute.
we started showing mute.
Nice.
We had a whole thing, probably the best
Skit ever.
ever,
Oh,
probably the
I laughed
funniest
so
and the
hard.
smartest Dimitri will ever be.
I
and
laughed
it's
so
gone.
hard.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. But let's start off where
I
we began
laughed.
last time.
I cried. It was better than Cats. It was.
It was a little bit better than Cats,
Yeah.
except for the singing. The singing was not quite as good as Cats,
No.
but it was close. It was really close. So, what happened last week to you?
I was tired.
No, that's not what happened. What
Yeah, it
happened
was.
to you?
I was on the couch and I couldn't get up.
He wasn't on the couch. He was in a van.
Fatigue.
He was in a van down by the river.
Down by
The free Bernie van, the free stuff Bernie van. So what was that like?
The
by the way?
van said free Obama phones.
No, it said free stuff and feel the burn, and you got a little bit too close to the burn. So what is it actually? What does it smell like inside the feel the burn van?
It smells like sausages with onions and peppers.
And you had a bag of sausages, so that was good. Was it because of your bag of sausages that it smelled like that?
Yeah, that's why they rolled up to me.
Because they were like,
said, dude, give
sausages.
Give us your stuff. We're gonna pass out your sausages.
So they had free stuff, but is that how they hand out the free stuff? They take your stuff? Dude, that makes sense.
They're Marxists.
That makes total sense.
I'm only a little
free stuff.
Free stuff. Hey, come over and get some free stuff. What do you got there? Okay, you can have this free stuff, but we're gonna take all your stuff.
They gotta have one of those signs that you can change. So you go down the road a little bit, and they pull up on some dude, and then they switch the sign to, give us your stuff or we'll kill you. And then they get the stuff, and then they drive down the road a little bit. Then they say free stuff.
Or
what
we'll
I'm
kill
saying?
you.
Or we'll kill you.
You take it.
Free stuff or we'll kill you. And I am Paul, by the way.
And I am Dimitri.
And this is
Stayed Awake.
This is State of Wake. This is January 28th.
I had to remind you of that.
2016. Maybe I'm not awake. And the title of the show is Refugee Panda Hug with Hands Up. And Dimitri came up with that title by himself. And I said, okay, I'll let you title this show.
Yeah, no.
No,
you can't give that to me. Because
that
reminds me of a snuff film I once saw.
So you've watched snuff films?
Yes, I used to live in New York.
Now, notice I said snuff films, and you said yes. Now, I understand if you inadvertently watch one snuff film. You don't realize it's a snuff film, and then you're like, oh, man, never again. But you said yes to plural.
There was this Italian
to plural snuff films.
There was this Italian film.
Right.
You saw what she did. You're like, that wasn't real.
Was she a good painter? You like watching her paint like Bob Ross?
That was
Happy Trees? Did you have Happy Trees when you were around her?
More like Happy Wood.
Happy Trees. Happy Trees.
Yes.
It's a family show, sir. I'm sorry, it's a family show.
Can we move on?
So yeah, we're
the weird title.
Let's do the BIPCOT no-gov license thing. We are covered by a BIPCOT no-gov license. That means that you're free to use this show however you see fit, unless, of course, you're with the government. For more information, go to bipcot.org. And because this show is so awesome in how it state of wakes you, we like to warm you up and toasty you up. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and
we're going to go ahead.
We're going to go ahead and go ahead.
Not behind.
No, not behind. You go twice ahead. You got to say it twice or it's not ahead.
Okay.
And you want to go ahead. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and go ahead.
Stay awake with Dimitri and Paul.
You're either with us or you're with the enemy. That's clear. I will continue to make that clear.
Wake up! What difference at this point does it make?
It's one of those days when you don't want to wake up.
Basically, taking over and the government running all of your companies.
We are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America.
Wake up! Wake
we're scared. We're scared of an Obama presidency.
I have to tell you, he is a decent person and a person that you do not have to be scared as President of the United States.
I have 2 words for you. Predator drones. You will never see it coming.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Either you're with us, either you love freedom and with nations which embrace freedom, or you're with the enemy.
Wake up! Wake up!
You also ask the school board to make a part of every day some kind of anti-violence, anti-gun message. Every day, every school, at every level. And we need to do this every day of the week and just brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way.
And when they say, I want my lawyer, you tell them, shut up.
Your time
Don't
is
get a
expired.
lawyer. You're an enemy combatant.
We haven't had a very collective notion of these are our children. So part of it is we have to break through our kind of private idea that kids belong to their parents or kids belong to their families and recognize that kids belong to whole communities.
State of Play with Dimitri and Paul. What's your state of play?
And this is what Dimitri kept saying over and over again while he was listening to this.
That's nice.
Dude, I have you recorded. I'm going to play the recording. I recorded you. Ready?
I like eggs! I like eggs!
I don't know why you did that. I don't know how you did that sound effect with your mouth while you were doing that. That was incredible.
I like eggs.
I like eggs, yeah.
I do actually, hard boiled.
Didn't you ever see the Amanda show from Nickelodeon back in the 90s?
No.
There was a girl on there who that was her catchphrase. I like eggs.
Oh, and that's what we're talking about on our show tonight.
We're talking about a girl who said I like eggs on the Amanda show back in the day.
Really...
Amanda Bynes or whatever her name is.
People listening to us now.
People are listening to us. There's a lot of people that are listening to us right now.
About I like eggs.
So did you enjoy your 2 weeks off? Your
I
unscheduled 2 weeks off? What happened? What happened to you during those 2 weeks?
Sleepy.
Other than the Bernie van?
Sleepy time.
That's what you did the whole time?
Sleepy.
He doesn't work for a living. He lives off his wife.
I do. I mooch. I live in the basement. She allows me to stay here.
Yes, that's really nice of
it's
her,
comfortable.
Right?
It's quiet down here.
So we live in Pennsylvania, and we live in an area in Pennsylvania where, you know,
radon is very high.
Well,
in
no.
the basements.
What happened to us this past week? Freaking snow, man.
You live in Pennsylvania.
How much snow did you get?
That's a given.
No, it's not a given.
Yes,
it's not a given to get at least 32 freaking inches of snow. I got how much snow did you get? How much snow did you get?
The snowdrift in my front yard was about 4 feet.
And you had an adventurous time, didn't you?
Oh, it was lovely.
Yeah.
He's complaining about the snow from his living room.
No, because I was sitting in my living room. Yeah, I was. And I paid my neighbors to shovel my cars out.
I was stuck in snow for 5.5 hours.
5.5 hours. And you were how far away?
4x4s.
Like 20 minutes away from your home?
About that, yeah.
Yeah, and you got stuck. And then a dump truck got stuck.
A plow
Plows were getting stuck.
The plow that was coming to save me, to pull my ass out. Is this a family show?
It's a family show.
Can I say ass?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
it was like Jackass, not hind quarters.
Not backdoor.
Yeah, save my jackass.
Like the animal.
Yes.
Because you value your donkeys and your asses.
He was coming to save my donkey.
Right.
Which was my Jeep. And he got stuck.
Dude got stuck.
And then they had to get the backhoe out to pull him out of a 4-foot snowbank. And the backhoe got stuck.
But it turned into a Hallmark movie, didn't it?
It did. We hugged, we kissed, we laughed, we cried.
No,
it was better
remember
than
what
Cats.
happened? The Hallmark movie part. You met a nice family?
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful human beings.
Seriously, you did.
They gave me lots of warm tea.
They did.
And I had to pee so freaking bad.
And you didn't dare say, "Can I use your bathroom?"
I felt so bad. I was mooching off of it for like 5 hours. Dude, can I use your shovel? Dude, can you help me over here? Dude, can you just watch me try to back out of this? Dude, can you? Dude, and they were such nice people. By the end, I felt horrible.
So you couldn't take it that extra. Were you wearing adult diapers at the time?
No.
Did you wish you were?
No, but I have a normal
I would have wished I were at the
functioning
time.
bladder, so as an adult male, I can hold it. It was just
Yeah, but you don't want
torture.
to. You don't want to.
Wanting and doing are two different
But if you wear an adult diaper, you don't need to worry about it. I mean, this is a dream of mine. I have never gone the adult diaper route, but part of me is like, dude, I think that I need to get a mention of adult diaper in every single show we do.
Are they paying you for this? Because they better.
They
we're
actually
like shedding listeners. Like
I'm getting money from
left
both
and
George Soros and the Koch brothers. Seriously.
and depends.
And yes, and it depends. Adult diapers, yes.
Yeah, it was quite an experience. 5.5 hours with a bunch of truckers who were driving rigs set up way better than mine, and they were stuck too. And I was like, oh, I don't feel so bad. But how the hell am I going to get out of here? And then I did. And then I got home.
And then you
it got
called
sucky
me
there too.
When you got home. You called me, and
I left the house at
complained.
1:30, and I got home at 9:30.
Yeah, and he called me, and I
20 minutes away.
I complained because my back hurt because I was sitting on the chair all day in an uncomfortable position.
Well, your chair does have a lump in it, really.
It does.
So,
It
to be
does.
fair,
That's a dead body. That's the last person of the show. The co-host before you ended up in my chair. I'm just saying. And it started off when he made a smart remark about my chair.
dude.
I don't want you to read too much into
I
that.
had a girlfriend who would have guys shovel out her car for her.
And
that's
my
what you-
wife had people shove out the car for
You
her.
paid them $50.
Well, she did. I participated in the free market. Seriously.
Yeah.
I put forward a liberty for everyone is what I did.
He was crying about all the snow. He's like, what am I going to do? I'm stuck in my house.
I wasn't. It was hard. It was hard having to sit in that chair in the comfort of my home with the heat on, watching TV, getting work done. I know it's difficult. Dimitri got out there into the world.
Wait, the worst part wasn't that actually being stuck. The worst part was the wiper blade getting stuck in the snow and ice and ripping off. Then your car door freezing, so I had to crawl through my passenger door. Then my rear wiper blade failed. Then my phone got wet. It's like, if you are a gear guy, 4 feet of snow drift is the way to test it out. It's like the stuff that really failed.
But you had something else happen too that was probably worse. You had a little panic attack.
I did?
Yeah, you were like, I'm going to have a heart attack. If I have a heart attack, I'm going to die.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he did.
I said.
Yeah, he did.
I said to myself, and I did share with Paul.
Yeah, he did.
It's like, if I have a heart attack shoveling the snow here,
I'm dead.
There's a dump truck stuck in front of me. How would an ambulance ever get here? It wouldn't. Anybody who gets a heart attack in this storm is done. They're not going to have the state be able to get to you.
Do you want to be gotten to by the state? You want to read that a little bit more carefully.
That's what I'm saying.
You'd want the ambulance to get to you, but not necessarily the state.
Well, the ambulance to me represents the state.
Oh, really?
Emergency services?
Well, then the state is good.
No, you're missing my point.
It's only good for that moment.
You're missing my point.
I am.
Can we move on to the show?
Yeah, well, why don't we actually begin the show? And we're going to go into Newsfire. So, everybody, prepare yourselves as we set you on your way. What did I say? Go forward? Or what was it that I said that we do? Can I say twice? I can't even remember.
Just move on.
I don't want to move on, okay?
Move on. Look, just because you muted the show.
Once. On accident.
We
On accident.
lost a great
Once. On accident.
An impulsive, instinctive, awesome, funny show.
That's now just this.
And then he says,
it's now just this.
And he says,
this.
Wait,
It's become this.
Wait. Oh, man. Wait. Oh, dude. What'd you do? Did you need the show again?
Yeah, I did. Okay, so let's move into the Newsfire segment. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, be prepared for heat. Be prepared for flames. Step back and be careful not to burn yourselves. If you're not wearing a fire retardant suit, you best be careful as we take the headlines and grill them up. Now join us as Dimitri and Paul set your news.
Is that rain?
That's fire!
Oh, sorry.
Dude!
I missed that.
I'm going to let the rest of this play. I was going to cut this off, but now I'm not going
I like
to.
the sound of it.
So we're going to move into the world headline. Now this week, actually, we're going to end up with 2 world headlines because.
So worldly.
So the story we're focusing on is about the rise of vigilante groups targeting refugees from the Syrian war. And first from this story, from Sweden, is a little story I think that illustrates why it is that people are turning on the refugees. Why are these gangs forming, these vigilante groups forming? And, well, it's because of stuff like this. It's because when someone says this.
We didn't cover up, of course we didn't, but we didn't tell.
We Are Stockholm is a music festival for teenagers in the town centre, devised 16 years ago to keep kids out of trouble. But for the last 2 summers, some of the people it was designed to help have used it as an opportunity for something more sinister.
We didn't cover up, of course we didn't, but we didn't tell.
It looks a little different in the snow, but this is where the festival happened, and where teenage girls say they were groped, harassed, and even raped by young men, allegedly in the main, young Afghan asylum seekers.
We didn't cover up, of course we didn't, but we didn't tell.
But it's taken 5 months and the events in Germany for the story to emerge, because although the police were aware of the crimes, they didn't make them public.
We didn't cover up, of course we didn't, but we didn't tell.
And that's left this country that's always prided itself on its welcoming, open attitudes to refugees, grappling with some awkward questions.
We didn't cover up, of course we didn't, but we didn't tell.
It was a cover-up, wasn't it?
No, we didn't cover up, of course we didn't, but we didn't tell. And there are so many things we don't tell, because we have so much information, so much things going on, we have hundreds of cases every 24 hours, and in this case, we didn't tell. And that was a mistake, a big mistake today. But of course it wasn't a cover-up. We didn't cover up, of course we didn't. But we didn't tell.
So if teenage girls had reported sexual assaults by white Swedes at this event, would you have taken the same decision?
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is that we never, in the police, we never talk about if they're Swedes or if they come from any other parts. The media does, but we don't. We didn't cover up, of course we didn't. But we didn't tell.
At the 170,000-strong festival in 2014, 17 teenagers said they'd been sexually attacked and 1 complained of rape. A year later, there were 19 assaults and 1 rape. 1 person is being prosecuted.
These guys, they were like 5, 10, 15 sometimes. The only goal for them to go into this crowd is to sexually harass these young girls.
Roger Tikwalu set up the festival and still runs it for Stockholm City Council.
And in the beginning, it looks like they're having just fun and, dancing in this huge crowd of people. And then what happens that they surround them and start to gather around them, and then suddenly they start to sexually harass them, touching breasts, crouch and stuff like that.
We didn't cover up, of course we didn't. But we didn't tell.
We didn't cover up. We just didn't tell.
By the end, it sounded drunk.
Yeah, he got tired. He's like, dude, I can't even believe my own words anymore. You were saying a couple things during the segment.
Yeah, well, it all sounds to me like it's pre-planned.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It's almost like
it's being orchestrated. They're trying to drum up this frenzy.
Right, of the immigrant problem. And
right.
These dirty Greeks are letting them through, and We gotta kick them out of Skegan because.
And well, you've actually hinted that that's actually the last segment of our show.
Yeah, I know, but it all ties together. These immigrants are the problem, not the loser German politicians who have ground.
You mean the grand, almighty, lordly,
Merkel,
beautiful ladies.
I am Merkel.
Hey, don't talk about Merkel like that. He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
He is, but he's
a good guy.
He's a very handsome
dude.
Man.
Very handsome dude.
But he's
a very
ugly
handsome
in
dude.
a way.
Kind of like weird.
Can't
quite put your finger on it, and you don't want to put your finger on it. That's the thing. Your fingers are like, no, don't get me anywhere near that.
But it's obviously a redirection. There's obviously something way bigger going on here than the immigrants that Merkel invited to come to Germany. And now she's
all of
everybody
Europe,
up.
Basically.
Right, they all say, oh, we'll take
it's because of the Germans
thousands.
that all these people are flooding in.
We'll take hundreds of thousands of refugees. Come on down. And, well, if I was invited to a free lunch and I was starving in a place where there were no opportunities, guess where I'd go? To the most socialist place on earth where I get my free stuff.
You're going to go to the free, where's the Feel the Burn van? I want in that, right?
Well, if you say Feel the Burn van in Germany, it has a whole different meaning, so we shouldn't go there.
Yeah, I think it's same effect if you go to South Carolina or any of the southern states, if you say that. So I played the first part because of this. This is a story from Tomo News. Vigilante gangs have taken to the streets of Germany in a response to the rash of molestations and robberies in German cities on New Year's Eve, which have been blamed on migrants, Reuters reported. Mass sexual assaults and robberies of women were reported in Cologne on New Year's Eve. The assailants were described, I don't need to describe this all over again. Citing the local Express newspaper, Reuters reported that a group of vigilantes calling themselves the Rockers, Hooligans, and Bouncers used social media to gather people on January 10th in downtown Cologne to launch a quote-unquote manhunt of foreigners. Police reinforcements were sent to the city at 4:30 p.m. Notice that the police were there to protect the migrants, not there to protect the women being raped. After police were notified for the meeting, reported The Independent, 6 Pakistani men were attacked by a group of about 20 people 2 hours later. And how much you want to bet that those 6 Pakistani men had nothing to do with the rapes?
Of course they didn't.
Of course, they were probably innocent dudes. And three Guineans and another Syrian were also attacked. Okay, I'm not going to go into it. And then there was a story just recently that I saw that is a viral video going around of French. Now, in this case, I think the French vigilantes actually found some Muslim hooligans or I won't say Muslim hooligans. I'm sorry, some immigrant hooligans, and started and was roughing them up, and everybody loves it. So
it seems
the backlash is building, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna say a
You're
theory.
going to go out on a limb.
I never do that, folks. You know that. Did you listen to the show last week? I was actually on the edge of the limb the whole freaking time.
Good thing it was a strong tree.
It was a very strong tree. It was a rock hard tree is what it was. So I believe that they know that it's all going to go. It's all going to collapse.
The Europeans, they need a scapegoat.
They need a scapegoat.
Yeah.
They're like, dude, listen, we invited them in.
And
we did the right thing, and they wrecked our banks. You know what I mean?
And our
financial we're having all these bank runs because of them. You know, we're sorry, but dude, not our fault.
Yeah. It seems like that's where it's headed.
It's
just
odd.
These are all misdirections from the real problems. The real unemployment rates in Germany are much higher than they're saying.
And I'm going to go into the next story because it's related.
Of course, you had to interrupt me again.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you on a rant there?
No, it's okay.
Do you want to finish your rant?
I'm done.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want to finish your rant?
You hurt my feelings, and we must go on.
You know, I say I'm going to let you have at least one rant a show. Do you want me to take your rant now?
Move on, please.
I'm going to move on.
Boring people.
I'm not boring. People are thinking right now,
people.
how is it that this guy makes this show so cool with Dimitri dragging him down? I don't know how he does it, but he manages. It's in my contract, by the way. I have to work with Dimitri.
He does, because my wife pays him.
Yes, exactly. Defending yourself against rape. Get charged for brandishing a weapon. From the Daily Mail, a Danish teenager who was sexually assaulted near a migrant asylum center has been told she will be prosecuted after using pepper spray to fend off her attacker. The 17-year-old told police she was targeted in the coastal town of Sonderborg by an English-speaking man who knocked her to the ground and tried to undress her. But she managed to prevent the man from attacking her further by spraying the substance at him. However, as it is illegal to use pepper spray, seriously, you Danish people, no excuse for that. You're total wankers. I'm sorry. You suck.
Tools.
Total tools.
Tools.
Preventing people from using freaking pepper spray?
She
You don't
shoulda
deserve a
shot
country.
him. She should have shot him in the head.
Yeah, in America.
Wait, I want to ask you a question. What happens if he had assaulted her in her house and she ran to the kitchen and grabbed a knife, and as he's trying to rape her, she stabbed him and killed him? She'd go to jail for murder.
Apparently in Daneland.
What a backward ass country that is. But this is sophisticated.
I have other words that have formed in my head that I did not repeat, but it just totally ticks me off. I'm like, you know what, man? I thought the Netherlands was like kind of cool.
No, apparently not.
No, total wankers.
This is total.
They hate their own people.
Of course.
To pass crappy laws like that, they hate their own people.
No, it's not that they hate their own people. They don't trust their own people.
Well, that's the same thing as hate. Seriously, do you really love somebody that you don't trust?
They don't trust.
How do you feel about me?
Right now?
Right now. Do you feel a lot of trust for me?
No.
So how does that make you feel about me? Don't you want to stick a knife in my eye right now?
I was thinking Phillips screwdriver. But
so that's what I'm talking about. See? If you don't trust someone, you hate them.
Yeah.
So they hate their own people. They despise them. But yet, they use them. They get stuff from them and give to other people.
Nullification here. Jury nullification.
I don't know if they have that. I don't know if the Danes have that in their constitution, if they have a constitution.
You don't need a constitution. All you need is one dude on the jury to say...
I have to look up my Danish law. Dane law, man! Dane law!
All you need is one guy on the jury to say, oh, I think she's innocent, and that's it. Just ignore the law.
You don't know.
Have to ignore the law in circumstances like
I don't know what it's like there.
I'm sure it's a paradise.
The people being treated like wankers may have accepted their wankerdom. So they may look at this and say, well, we are wankers, so we should not protect ourselves. So you're guilty. Too bad. You should have just taken that rape.
Yes. Whose life is more important?
Really. Yes.
The rapist or the
Yes, exactly. You
cannot judge. You don't know what he's gone through.
Rape lasts for 30 minutes. You pepper spray him, that lasts for an hour.
30 minutes. Wow.
He's not very effective. Well, actually, he is effective. Okay, rape lasts for 5 minutes. Pepper spray lasts for an hour. Come on, man. That's a take on a quote that I saw, which I don't know if it's true or not, but I strongly suspect, even if it's not true, the sentiment's still there. That some maybe it was the Everytown.
If you're gonna go to jail for assaulting someone with a weapon,
quote, and you just interrupted me.
It's okay.
Go ahead.
It's okay that I interrupted you. Why not just shoot the bastard?
Well, yeah. If you're gonna go big. Yeah. Go big or go to the big house.
Yeah. If I'm gonna go to the big house anyway, I'm gonna cap his ass.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna lay it down. But yeah, the quote was allegedly. It's supposed to have been a tweet. I don't know if it was doctored or not. But even if it's not true, they really have that sense. Government always take more, take. It's never going to be. It's just like in England. And I'll finish this sentence and then we'll go into the next story. It's just like in England when now that they have guns, now they're going after freaking knives.
You mean now that they've confiscated the guns?
Yeah, they've conquered guns, and now they want knives.
Yeah, like they're going to control knives.
Yeah, they're going to stop people from knifing people. Because what happened was the English are like, okay, they don't have a gun. Well, knife! I want to kill someone. I need a gun. I don't have a gun. Oh, get a knife! and then it'll be rocks.
But here's the thing. You're going to have
blunt objects.
All chicken, all breads, all vegetables pre-sliced. Because when you take it home and you got no knife to cut stuff with, or you're gonna have to get a license for your knife. There you go.
Yeah, you're gonna have to, are you a licensed knife holder?
Ooh.
And then you're
sorry.
Yeah, exactly. And you're gonna probably have to they'll pass a
you
law.
You can't cook with chunky stuff.
They'll pass a law that when you're not using your knife,
you have to lock it up.
Separate. No, you have to separate the handle from the blade, and lock the blade in one part and the handle in the other. And that's what you got to do because it's knife control.
Wow, that sounds so retarded. It might actually work.
I think that they could actually.
They might actually pass that law. They try to make it work.
I don't doubt that they would do that. So we're going to go on to the next story, and we are going to let. Oh, did you want to say more?
No, I just had to let that out.
He's been holding a mouse in his mouth the whole time, and he finally let the mouse go, and it's freed him up a little bit. Yeah. I don't know how you managed that during the entire show, but that was total bossness on your part. So now we're going to play. I'm not going to say anything. This is Joe Sestak, or C-Stack. I don't know. Slee-Stack. Let's call him Slee-Stack. Why not?
Dude,
He's a freaking Slee-Stack.
Dude, don't judge.
I'm not judging. Wait. What are you suggesting? Are you suggesting by calling him Slee-Stack that I'm somehow denigrating him? What does that say that you're saying about the Slee-Stacks? Are Slee-Stacks not people too? No, they're not. Well, that's beside the point. Don't be busting on no Slee-Stacks. Okay, so this is Joe Sestak, the guy who is hoping that he wins the Democratic nomination to challenge Pat Toomey in the Pennsylvania Senate race in 2016.
Earlier this month, the Iranian Navy seized 10 U.S. sailors, photographed them surrendering, filmed the U.S. commander apologizing, and forced a female U.S. sailor to cover her head in Islamic modesty. Is this consistent with the Geneva Convention?
You know, if a North Korean vessel came into our waters here, waters we own, like those waters, or an Iranian warship, like our riverine craft, went into our waters, I wouldn't let my men or women board that vessel, and we would board it, because they're in our territory. What mischief are they up to? And I would have the crew go to the end of the boat and hold their hands up. I actually did it. I walked in the shoes of my sailors every day out there. I would go out with them on that same riverine craft. And I scaled 40, 50-foot rope ladders to go up the hull of a merchant ship with a helicopter with a gun down facing the merchant men and women on that, who we hustled to the back so we would be safe climbing up. And then with guns, they held it up as we looked for contraband on this neutral merchant ship that might be going into Iraq or Iran. That's tough land out there, water. There's hundreds of boats that go back and forth every day at night. And often one would come towards me because they're cigarette smuggling boats from UAE to Oman. And we would actually take a helicopter and start to wash them away, and even if necessary, put bullets in the water. Our vessel went into their land, territory. Did they take propaganda advantage of it? You betcha. But think of this. I would argue that if we had not done the communications with Iran to stop their nuclear weapons program, we could not have picked up a hotline. When I was admiral out there, as I end this question, I put out, after I talked to that Third Fleet commander, because it was so hard out there with hundreds of vessels going back and forth, that our Navy needed an incident at sea agreement, an ink sea agreement we had with the Soviet Union, to where when something happened with the Soviet Union and we had one with People's Republic, you picked up the hotline and you resolved it. Because remember this, when the British sailors were captured in 2007, 13 of them, it took 15 days before they were released. We picked up the phone and resolved it. Because people can be tough back here at home, talking. Be out there where we are. And we want to resolve things, not have them go into a conflagration. Thank you.
Well, we got through that.
Oh, boy. That was a very dramatic speech. I need to ask you a question.
Okay.
When you're putting together a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, do you put the peanut butter on one piece of bread and the jelly on the other, and then you put them together? Or do you put the peanut butter down and then put the jelly on top of the peanut butter and then put the bread down?
You know, when I was a sandwich expert, and I led men into making sandwiches. I ask them this question: are you going to seriously impede your progress to ask a question that is relevant to no one, certainly relevant not to the sandwich, nor to the belly that will receive that sandwich? For when you eat that sandwich, it will go into your belly, and all of it will mix together, and there will be no distinction made between whether you put the peanut butter on one part first or the other part first. So I say freedom in making your sandwiches. Hi, my name is Joe Sestak, and this is how I answer all questions.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
What was with all the drama?
I don't know. I was like, I don't know. Is he given like somebody dying of cancer and the team's got to win one for the Gipper or something? I didn't know. It was a little weird.
Yeah, totally weird.
That was the first time I actually listened to the clip. I got it ready for the show, and I was like, I want to listen to the clip and then react to it. I was blown away by that clip.
By watching him give his answer.
By listening to him give his answer. Whatever he said, the tone of how he said it freaked me the freak out, man.
Are we going to war?
What was that?
But he was defending Iran in its actions. He was like, if they were Iranians in our territorial waters, we'd do the same thing. And I'd led men to do just that in my position as whatever it was that I did.
And when that woman was forced to wear Muslim garb, we would have done the same to their women. We would have made them wear Britney
bikinis.
Spears outfits.
Bikinis.
Yes, exactly. Or nothing. Because, that's how we roll.
Yes.
We're America.
Look,
he left out a vital piece of information.
Well, let me make my point.
Go ahead.
And then you counter my point with that vital piece of information.
Go ahead.
I don't really have a problem with the way our sailors were treated. They weren't shot.
Which part are you talking about?
Well, the fact that they were arrested and...
You're not talking about the videos, I hope. The portraying them or parading them around. And
no, that's
the guys
different.
Say sorry.
I have no problem with the way that they were dealt with. I have a problem with it becoming a propaganda tool. That I have a serious problem with. But I'm pretty sure we would have treated them quite similarly if they were in our territorial waters. We wouldn't have just gone on board and said, hey, come on up for some tea and biscuits. No, it'd be like, hey, guys, put your hands on your heads, turn around. We're going to zip tie your hands. You're arrested. You're going to be detained for a little while until we can determine what you guys were doing here. That's legit. What's not legit? Filming the whole thing and then using it for propaganda. Now that becomes... that crosses into douchebag territory.
And there's another angle to this, which I'm not going to say with 100% certainty that this is true, but I think because it came from a very high-ranking official, and I forget the name of the dude that said it, was somebody high up in the Defense Department, and kind of let it slip out inadvertently. What happened was the United States of America got on the phone and called up Iran and said, hey, dudes, our dudes are like missing and stuff, in trouble. Could you help them? So if that's true, and the Iranians knew that these dudes were in trouble, and they were actually called by America to help them, then how the Iranians acted was completely inappropriate.
But if North Korea called the United States and said, hey, there's a ship of ours that's drifted into your territorial waters across the world, and they're in trouble.
Well, wait, we're
in
the Persian Gulf now. It's a.
But I'm just saying,
it's not like it's an island out in the middle of the freaking ocean that we were near. It wasn't like we were going up into San Francisco Bay. So, but here's my take on this. From whatever you feel about whether the Iranians are right or wrong, and well, certainly we would both agree the filming is take that speech. I think it's gold. It's gold for Toomey. I think he made a pretty big mistake in his candor. And the weird thing is how he expressed his candor, which was almost like he was George S. Patton galvanizing troops to war. He's answering a question in a press club. This was a press club speech that he gave, and then afterwards he had questions, and this guy asked the question, and his response was just, it was creepy. It would be like if my daughter walked up to me and said, "Daddy, can I turn the light on?" Well, let me tell you about lights. Lights are a vital part of our American culture. Without lights, we would not be able to work at night. If you want to take a cavalier attitude with lights, well, I'm telling you, you're no daughter of mine. That's kind of like what it was like. That level of creep. So I say the creep is rather high. Do you have anything more to say about this? Because if you don't, I'm going to go to something fun. Now, we're not a video show. So
we'll just describe the video as it's playing to you.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
You haven't seen the video.
Very entertaining.
You haven't seen the video, but I will describe the video.
Oh, are you kidding me? You're going to do that?
I'm going to describe the video. Because there's no words. There's just sound. But it's so awesome.
Okay, go.
And it's a little levity.
Work.
Ready?
I'm going to be pissed.
All right. You're always angry. You're always angry.
Now you sound
But you're not allowed to be angry right now because we're talking about hugging pandas now. This is the panda hug part of the show. Well, your wife has a really deep voice then. Really manly deep voice. Kind of creepy.
Or yours is high.
No, I don't think so. I do not think so.
Not that hers is high, whiny, and annoying. Honey, I didn't mean that.
You farted. I farted and I can't get up. Oh, that's because your wife slapped you down. Yeah, she did. Are you ready? This is the fun part of the show. Listen, a little levity, man. Because we're hitting people with doom and gloom. Everybody get prepared for really cute panda hugging sounds. Ready? And it's a girl. And she's a panda man. And she's a panda girl. And the pandas are crawling all over her. There's her panda sounds. Little baby panda sounds. Crawling all over her. And she's hugging them. And it's her turn. She's paid to hug baby panda. Seriously. This is only China. You gotta see it. It's adorable. You guys gotta look up panda hugging, and it's got to be the greatest job. So she actually does do more than hug pandas, but it is a part of her job as a panda nanny at a Chinese zoo. This is the weird story. This is our weird story. We always have a weird story. This is what I chose for the weird. I did this for my daughter. Not that she can listen to. She could listen to this show unless you're talking, because I keep it clean. I'm a decent human being. Now you're talking to me like you're my wife, because that's how my wife talks. She gotta get that Robert De Niro gruffness. It's like, shut up. Now when she says it though, it's kind of sexy. When you say it, it's not. It's different.
But she says it that deep. Shut up.
Yeah.
You like deep, manly voices.
Occasionally, in the right context. Yeah.
Okay.
Usually when there's a very contrasting visual with it.
Big dude with black leather.
No. That would not be a contrasting visual. That would be a reinforcing visual.
Truck stop.
So you should look up the word contrasting. It's a very good word. You should try it. It's a very effective word.
You like the deep voices at truck stops?
I do. I do very much. I'm just going to say yes right now, so we can move on with the show.
Please.
What did you think?
I smiled.
Is this a job that you would like to have? Even if just for like a day a year.
I'm trying
to have a hugging panda day.
I'm trying not to use foul language.
So you wouldn't want to hug a panda, little baby pandas. Have little baby pandas crawling all over you and you're hugging them and they're like making that cute little panda sound. Meow. You wouldn't want that? I'd be that. I'd be like, oh, you hugging baby pandas. You're hugging baby pandas.
To hell.
But if I could hug baby pandas, the world would be okay.
And you
totally
want to hug.
Now I'm going to give you guys a
baby
little
pandas.
hope. I'm going to give you guys a little hope because we're moving into our text section.
Oh.
What?
Now this is interesting.
This is truly a word of art. But I gotta find
close attention to what is being said here, because this
is pretty cool stuff.
Potential game changer.
Now, what I'm gonna play to you.
I'm glad I found this article and I put this in because after that Panda thing,
You didn't do Jack, okay? You didn't do Jack.
I don't know Jack.
Dude, you don't know Jack, and you can't do Jack.
Would do.
You don't do
Jack.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Dude.
I don't know what that means. I don't understand double entendres because I am a decent human being. So this is an introduction to something called MeshNet.
This is definitely not one of the best shows.
This is an awesome show. This is actually the Panda Hugging section of this show makes this the best show ever. I think everyone would agree with that. So what I'm going to play is an introduction to the MeshNet.
This potentially may redeem the last.
And then I have a story
song?
related
You're
to
going
it.
to sing a song?
I have a story
Is that why you
related
brought your
to it.
guitar?
Yeah, I play guitar, yeah. Do you want me to sing now?
Hell no.
I'm just an old chunk of coal, and I'm gonna be a diamond someday.
I just saw our
I'm
listenership
just
from 400 to 4.
To 4, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this. Are you ready? Because I'm ready to move on. You're dragging the show down as usual. Are you ready? Yeah.
Me.
I'm just gonna call you Show Dragger. I'm gonna
After
call
the
you.
Panda
You're
thing.
gonna be Show Dragger. Hello, my name is Show Dragger. I want to be on this show so I can drag it down.
You're gonna make squeaky noises in the background and pretend they're pandas.
They're very cute pandas.
I bet.
You're gonna see that. All right, I'm gonna move on. Ready? We're going.
What are you waiting for?
Just shut your pie hole.
Just go.
The project called MeshNet has taken shape partly thanks to the Reddit thread Darknet Plan, where contributors have been hashing out the details of this ambitious goal. Although advocates of Project MeshNet want to make it clear that it's not a darknet project, it's an entirely new network that defines itself as a versatile, decentralized network built on secure protocols for routing traffic over private mesh or public internetworks. Here's how they describe that private mesh.
Multiple computers are all connected to each other via a wireless connection spanning a large area, and all information, documents, messages, images, music, anything at all, is passed from computer to computer until it reaches its destination. If a computer, or node, is down, then an alternative route is found. All of this is done automatically by the computer itself, allowing the user to browse the MeshNet as they would the regular internet. Likewise, all information sent and received is secure, meaning only the intended recipient is capable of receiving it. This means the architecture of the MeshNet is owned by countless individuals instead of a handful of corporate providers, which makes the oppression of free speech impractical, bordering on impossible.
Not to talk about anything until he reads this.
You weren't unmuted when you started. You want to start that again?
Paul asked me not to talk too much because he wants to read something very important.
From the Daily Dot.
Yeah, but you should explain what people just heard.
We're going to after I read this.
Okay,
It'll all come together.
Will you start already?
The Mesh Goes app. New apps. This is from the Daily Dot. New apps pop up in Apple's App Store every day. Some with more fanfare than others. Fire Chat, a messaging app, showed up quietly. The free tool didn't have a big name cachet or the kind of sexy hook that has propelled services like Whisper and Secret into next big thing territory. If you download it now, there's not a whole lot going on. It's still new and underutilized. But Fire Chat, which was developed by peer-to-peer internet sharing company Open Garden, is potentially one of the most important apps in the App Store. It could take the idea of a meshnet mainstream. Done right, a meshnet will be immune to firewalls and government internet bans, something important to consider for countries with censored internet like China and Egypt and America. Oh wait, Donald Trump didn't win yet. And something that may be of special interest to people in Turkey after the Twitter ban debacle. They can also come in handy during emergencies when the internet service goes out. In fact, an Australian organization created a meshnet called Serval specifically for this reason. They can also be cheaper than the regular internet. Micah Benolio, Open Garden CEO, believes establishing meshnets is necessary to building better overall connectivity. We need to create small internets that can function on their own and then connect them to the big internet, he told Technology Review. Now, do you see how it all ties together? This added element takes it to a whole other level. Now, go ahead, explain what people just heard. So,
Oh, I got nothing to say. It's all you.
Oh, you got nothing to say?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, show's over. We're just gonna shut down. Everybody go home. Go ahead.
Must I?
No, you know you want to.
Well, this bypasses the government. They can't control this. No one can control this unless they can break.
They have to shut every single person down. Every single person.
With a computer.
Right.
With a wireless connection.
Who can connect from one computer to the next, peer to peer.
Right.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is a game changer in terms of if anybody decides that they're going to regulate and tax the internet, good luck. There's no way to do it unless you shut the whole internet down.
And right now, there's not a lot of people on the MeshNet. There's not a lot of people. There's not a lot of websites on the MeshNet yet. But I think within 10 years or 5 years, even the way things go,
nobody knows about it. Put an ad on the television and
I've
say, "Join us."
I've known about MeshNet for a while, but it was very expensive to get into MeshNet. You got to have a lot of really specialized equipment. But this app is a game changer. All of a sudden, now with an app on your smartphone, you can be part of the MeshNet. It's the MeshNets are like the rolling networks that they come up, they disappear, come up, they disappear, wherever they're needed.
Yeah.
It's like what Iran election. When I started on Twitter early, and Twitter, it served almost the purpose of being like a MeshNet for the Iranians who were rebelling. Unfortunately, Twitter is totally sold out, and it would now if Iran election happened today, Twitter would shut it down. So they wouldn't have Twitter. They wouldn't have that MeshNet. Well, guess what? And I bet you in places like Iran, those folks are probably way ahead of everybody else in figuring out how to use these MeshNets. Because when you need it, you really work on it. So we're going to take a little bit of a little breaky here. We have not had commercials before, but these are fantastic commercials, none of which
we
got paid by. Yeah, as they say on Freedom Fiends, I like what they say. They say, let's we're going to take a trip to the marketplace. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a trip.
When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation.
Yeah, when we are we going to continue this conversation?
Or let's put the commercial off. Are we on a hard break?
No, there's no hard breaks here. We're not sophisticated enough. We could talk a little longer before we go on a break.
Well, the internet is a great tool for democracy, if you believe in democracy. It levels the playing field. You don't have elites controlling information anymore. Look at news media. Half the news you get today through social media, you wouldn't have gotten through the normal media channels 10, 20 years ago. You relied on ABC, CBS, NBC, and they were all sold out. Just like Fox is sold out now. You can find information that contradicts all the major carriers online, and you get way better coverage. And with the MeshNets coming online, you have even more flexibility. And you have secure channels that you can create where no one can look and see what you're posting on Facebook.
Yeah, there's no Google, there's no big ISP tracking all the places that you've been, what you've typed into the search engines.
You mean they're tracking that?
Oh no. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, this has been going on for a while. All of your history is sitting in Google.
I gotta erase some stuff off my phone.
You can't, it ain't gonna help. It's on their servers.
Dude, they know where I get
You can't erase it.
They know where I get my stuff from.
They know where you get your stuff, your adult diaper supply or whatever. No. What do you buy late at night?
Tulips.
Tulips?
I plant lots and lots of tulips.
So you're like Johnny Appleseed, except tulips.
You should see the spring around here.
I bet.
They're amazing. The bulbs. Yeah. Getting bulbs.
What is your fascination with tulips exactly? And how is this relevant to the mesh? Yeah.
Because the government knows I get tulips now.
But now with the mesh net, they can unknow that.
Well, they can't unknow.
No, they can't unknow the tulips, but you can find something else. Just move on from tulips.
Irises.
Well, you just said it, and you're not on the mesh net. I mean, this is preserved.
This on the internet?
It's on the interwebs.
Oh, wait, I'm confused.
This is.
I didn't say flowers or irises. That's not code for anything.
Right.
And the Russians listening to this is not code, dude.
why I really like these kinds of stories is you always hear the doom and gloom, and everybody just they think the government and they're all powerful. You can't stop them, and they're quite impressive in the power that they do have. But I believe that technology is getting ahead of them, and I think they know it. And it's almost like, well, I look at the way schooling is done, the types of entertainment that's being pushed on us, and I feel like what's happening is they're stepping up their game to condition docility because they know if you don't have docile minds with the technology that we have available to us just today, you will not be able to control these people. And the jig is up when suddenly people realize, wait a second, I don't need Daddy Gov to build the roads.
Or to supply me with water.
Or to supply me with, well, no, I really like poison water.
Okay, nothing
and
like...
no one gives poison water like the government does.
I'd rather get lead from the government through the water than through the barrel of a gun.
Than through the government at the barrel of a gun.
Yeah.
Honestly,
but
I should let them know.
puts other
Listen,
things in your water that are there to dumb you down.
You're going to talk about chlorine. We're going to go into a whole tirade with chlorine. Even though I'd like to go on break soon, but we're going to.
Fluoride is a neurotoxin.
I meant fluoride. I don't know.
It dumbs people down. It does.
Actually, I think I said chlorine because I drink fluoride water, and it's working. It's working.
Imagine how much smarter you would be.
Imagine how much smarter I'd be if I didn't drink fluoride water. I agree. And I'm actually, you actually filter your water.
I do.
And we're going to be doing that
because
too.
I'm paranoid.
Seriously. I'm not paranoid. I've had enough of the fluoride.
You've had enough of government water?
I've had enough of the government water, yeah.
And they're only going to be increasing the levels of chlorine in water to keep you safe.
Yeah. Sorry, are you ready to go to the marketplace now?
Yes, let's do it.
Let's go ahead and go to the marketplace.
Are you sick of government lackeys who say you didn't build that? Are you tired of elitists who think you need a government permission slip for everything? Everything you do is an A to B conversation, and the government should see their way out of it. Create true free markets by adopting the BIPCOT No Government License. The BIPCOT No-Gov license allows use or modification of any product, service, or software except by governments or government agents. Go to BIPCOT.org. That's Bravo, India, Papa, Charlie, Oscar, Tango.org.
Are you sick and tired of all that liberty? Does the freedom to collect rainwater and use it as you please seem like way too much liberty for you? Have you been burdened with the choice to buy a gun and carry a gun wherever you want? Did your child run a snow removal business in the neighborhood without getting a government license? And that type of freedom sickens you? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then we have a show for you not to listen to. State of Wait at stateofwait.com is not the show for people who are sick of the burden of freedom and liberty. If you actually love freedom, and you're ready to face how much freedom you actually have under Daddy Gov, then State of Wake is the show for you. So, if you hate liberty, stay the bleep away from stateofwake.com. For everyone else, come in, the water's warm.
Dude, you had to beep that? You had to beep it. How free are you?
I bleeped a bleep. I bleeped a bleep is what I did.
Why did you bleep it?
Because it was funny. It was funnier as a bleep.
Oh. You're afraid of the government. You're afraid to say.
I'm afraid of Daddy Gov.
You are.
No, actually, I'm a decent human being. Oh. That's what it is.
But yeah, get the fluoride out of your water. And stop using fluorinated toothpaste.
So we are hitting a section now. We're moving on from fluoride, okay? Let the fluoride go. And I'm going to play, I think what I'll do is I'll play the first one. This is about the Oregon protester dude that was shot and killed. And you have, weirdly enough, hands up, don't shoot. And we're going to get into that after we hear both of these clips.
He can see my expression. He can see the expression on my face.
Because I know he wants to say something, and I'm like, dude, let's play the clips. We're going to play the clips. But I gotta find the clip first, because did
you mute this again?
No, we're not muted. Everybody can hear you. So first we're going to play the version from a young lady who was in the car with the dude that was shot. And she claims, yeah, he had his hands up and he was shot. So let's hear her version, and then we'll talk briefly about that. And then we'll hear another side.
Ella had like a laser on us. They're like, turn out the car and put your head out the window and all this stuff. He's like, he put his hands out the window so they could see he didn't have a gun. He's like, but I'm not. He's like, I'm not. He's like, we're going to talk to the sheriff right now. He's like, you guys can follow us there, that's fine. He's like, but we're talking to the sheriff. He said, so either you can put a bullet through my head right now and get it over with, or we're going to talk to the sheriff. And they were like, no. And so then they're like stepping it up, and a bunch more guys are coming out, and they're all pulling their guns out. And they were like, we have women in the car. We have, because there's me and this other lady in the car that I don't know real well. But we have women in the car. They said, get the women out of the car. Get the women out of the car. And they're saying they're going to shoot. And Ryan Payne was like, he was in the front seat. Ryan Payne is amazing. He is incredible. But anyhow, so he was like, he said he put his hands out the window because he was trying to talk to them. He's like, if he wanted the guy to do it. He's like, I don't know if it's worth it. He's like, so he put his hands out the window and he said, we have women in the car, at least let the women get out. And he stuck his head out and they shot at him, but they missed him, or like he talked just in time. So they didn't hit him. And then they're like, oh, they mean business. They're going to shoot us. And so Ryan decided to get out of the car and try to go talk to them. And so he gets out of the car, and then the guy tried to like talk to them. The driver was like, I'm just going to drive. He's like, I'm just going to talk to the sheriff. And he's like, so either shoot me now or leave us alone. And they were just like, turn the car off and put your hands up the window. So finally, he decided to just drive. So we all got down on the floorboard, and he took off, and then they started firing at us. They started shooting us a bunch of times, and then they had a roadblock set up, and so he ran into a snowbank, and they were like riddling the car with bullets. And then they, like when we crashed, they stopped for a second. He got out of the car, and he had his hands in the air. He's like, and rest. He's like, just shoot me then. This is what you want, to shoot me. And they did. They shot him dead. They shot him like right there because he was just walking with his hands in the air, and I saw it. I swear to God, he was just walking with his hands in the air, and they shot him. And they shot him dead. And then after he was down on the ground, they shot him 3 more times. And then they bombarded our vehicle with bullets. Ryan got hit in the shoulder. We were laying there on the floorboard screaming, and they gassed us like 5 times, and they kept trying to shoot us, and their angle was bad, so I don't know, we were praying like so hard, and we were screaming like, stop.
So that is yes, he did have his hands up and he was shot story from the girl that was in the van with this guy, Lavoy Finicum.
I want to see the video. You know,
I've heard they said that there's a video. I haven't seen it yet.
No, you know the feds videotaped this.
But I'm not. I mean, if they had a bad angle and they were at a distance, I'm not sure what that video will tell us, unless you clearly see the guy rushing at them
with his hands up,
or not have his hands up.
Well,
it depends.
Well, in Ferguson, the young lad was rushing at the cop with his hands up.
He didn't have his hands up.
Oh,
it was no.
That was different.
No. You know, and
I don't believe anything anymore. I mean, this story might very well be true.
The girl sounds credible, as far as how she related the story. It sounded like, and it didn't look. I mean, it didn't sound. I'm not saying that she didn't make it up, or even if she didn't make it up, she's not remembering it right. That could very well be as well.
Correct.
So you can't say. So we're going to go on, and we're going to listen to. Well, we don't have the video because there's no video been released.
In time. There will be, I'm sure.
But here is another side to this story from another dude.
Who was where?
He was in the vehicle with Ammon Bundy. He did not see the shooting take place. Well, you know what? I'll let him tell his story.
Okay.
At that time, we seen somebody come out of vehicle 2. Didn't know who it was on the passenger side, and they're about 200 yards up. They went to the ground. They were handcuffed. Next thing we know, Lavoie takes off with his pickup and the other occupants. HRT, of course, pursues. They got further down the road, and we didn't realize there was actually a roadblock about a mile down. And from what Shauna Cox is saying, going off from what Shauna Cox and what Ryan Payne are saying, which were in the vehicle, visually, I seen the truck take off. Now, I mean, anytime somebody takes off with a vehicle away from law enforcement after they've exercised a stop, it's typically, considered an act of aggression and foolish. Payne said while they were sitting there and they were clearing my vehicle that him and Lavoie kind of had a heated discussion, and Lavoie was actually rather heated. But I'm not going to dismiss, or degrade Lavoie at all. Lavoie was very passionate, about this, about the movement, about what we were doing up here. But emotionally thinking, I mean, it's not always the best. But he was very passionate. I mean, I love the dude. Met him 3 weeks ago. I mean, I admired him. But he took off. HRT had to chase him. And then from what Shauna Cox was saying, once they got down there by the roadblock, I don't know if he tried to go around the roadblock or what he did. But anyways, the nose of his truck got stuck in the, snowbank right there. And Lavoie has a diesel, manual transmission. From what Shauna Cox said, from she was inside of his truck again, that when he exited the vehicle, the rear wheels of the vehicle were still spinning, which diesel truck, manual transmission, makes sense. It's possible until it stalls. And he charged after law enforcement. Numerous, her story's changed a few times. She's added pieces, subtracted pieces. I don't know. I really don't know. What I do know to be true is from what Payne said, from what Shauna said, taking, pieces here, pieces there, and from what I witnessed. I didn't see the shooting. He was not on his knees. He was not none of that. He was none of that nonsense. That was a miscommunication on somebody else's part. But he went after him. He charged him. Lavoie was very passionate about what he was doing up here. Not dismissing what they did, not dismissing what he did. I don't know. I didn't see it, and I'm not going to speculate on it. They brought the girls back down. They split us up. Put us all in FBI vehicles. They brought me and the 18-year-old back here to the county facility, the county sheriff's facility. Everybody else went to Portland to federal facility. They interviewed me for 2 hours. They didn't have anything on me. All the people that they picked up were original members of the people that took over the refuge. I wasn't one of them. They asked me, do I belong to a militia? No, I'm just up here. It's just standard stupid questions trying to pin me down. And they didn't work. I just kept reiterating to them. I was up here sightseeing. I was up here visiting, having a good time. Well, why is all the gear in the back of your Jeep? Well, because it's not illegal. So therefore I'm doing it. Frustrated them enough, they spent 2 hours. After 2 hours, dude walked back in, said, "Here, we're cutting you loose."
So there you hear the other side.
Yeah, both stories have some holes in them, and this guy sounds like a plant.
Sounds very creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what is it about his voice and the way that he's talking that as soon as he starts talking? Now, I didn't play the very first part of this video.
So
I only played the.
He was being interviewed by federal agents, and he confused them by telling them stories that he was visiting and sightseeing.
And now he's posting a video on Facebook in which he's pretty much admitting that he's part of the group. Good one. Now, I expect him to be arrested because he just incriminated himself.
And if he's not?
He just gave evidence. And if he's not, clue, real big clue there. He's not, not all informants are smart. I'm not saying he's an informant, but first of all, this guy, if I understand it correct, Ryan actually was not where the shooting took place. He's the guy that got out of the vehicle. Remember he said somebody got out of the second vehicle, and that collaborated with, I think her name is Victoria, said, who was in the actual vehicle. She was actually in the vehicle itself. He didn't even see the shooting. He's relying on what Ryan said. Ryan did not see the shooting. And then the other woman. And he even admitted in this that the other woman, her story is changing. So how reliable is she? So I am not sure that it makes sense. I'm not saying that Lavoie came out with his hands up. I don't know if he did. But it doesn't make sense. This is a guy, by the way, who has been a foster parent. He's had 50 kids that he was a foster parent for. Owns a ranch. From what I've seen of the guy, he's passionate, but he's not stupid. I don't think that a man who has... I think he has a great sense. I would think that he has a solid sense of family and his responsibility to family. I really doubt that he's going to get out of a vehicle. Now, he did make a stupid thing in trying to outrun the feds. That was stupid. But I seriously doubt that he got out of the vehicle and ran toward the feds like he was some sort of berserker. Did he come out with his hands up? I don't know. Even this girl, to me, she sounds credible, at least in how she's expressing herself, how she's telling the story. This guy, he sounds like rehearsed. Very, very, very deliberate and rehearsed. And she sounds almost, shocked, still in shock from it all. But that doesn't mean that the guy really had his hands up. He very well could have just got out of the vehicle without raising his hands, in which case, maybe that's how he got shot. But I seriously doubt that the guy ran at the feds like some sort of berserker. Now, where I'm going with this story is Black Lives Matter, hands up, don't shoot, based on a lie. I have to say, whether this is true or not, there is a part of me, not a very good part, or maybe a good part, that would delight in this group being able to march wherever they want to march, whatever they want to do, and they're screaming, hands up, don't shoot, even if it's a total lie. Because, hey, if you can use a total lie, they can use a total lie. I would love to see their weapon turned on them. Am I bad, man?
I would like to see something different.
Okay.
I'd like to see the Black Lives Matter show up to this town and march on behalf of this guy.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Well, no,
they should, because
because it's about
let me clarify.
Abusing
the
their
Black
power.
Lives Matter leaders would never be there, but the rank and file folks in the Black Lives Matter group, they don't realize they are on the same side as these guys. The leaders, they know exactly what they're doing. They're Marxists. Some of them are ANCOMers. They are most assuredly playing an end game that has nothing to do with actually addressing injustice in America.
And exploitation.
Because they're gonna exploit the same people that they're whipping up to a frenzy. But the rank and file folks in Black Lives Matter, they should be on the same side with these ranchers, because they're fighting the same enemy, and the enemy is the government. Well, I'm gonna clarify. The enemy is a government which went way beyond its borders. I'll say. It's taking over things it wasn't supposed to take over. It's entering into territories it should never have entered into, both literally and figuratively. And we're all suffering for it, more and more. The black families that live in the ghettos, all these years, where most of the cops are white. What is the tendency that happens when you're a certain way, whether you're white or whether you're an Eagles fan and you're taking care of a whole bunch of Dallas Cowboys fans, whatever, you have this clear division between you and them. They're not going to trust you. You're going to build up hostilities, and bad things are going to happen. So there's a lot of stuff that's happening in the ghettos that's bad. And the government has pretty much abandoned them and not provided for basic defense. Not only has not provided for basic defense, but has passed laws, which we've covered in our show, preventing them from protecting themselves with all the gun control laws and everything else.
People in the inner cities are being exploited. They're being exploited for their votes. And people in the countryside are being exploited, but they're being exploited for different things. Right now, you have corrupt politicians in many of the states out west who are trying to get the ranchers off these lands so that they can go in and mine them. And they have connections
Right.
with the big mining
Well,
companies.
Harry Reid's family is getting
Oh.
wealthy doing this stuff.
Of course, and the
And it's not just the
ranchers,
Democrats, of course.
yeah,
It's the
and the
Republicans.
ranchers are sick of it. And I'm very sympathetic to these ranchers who want to stand up to the government. But the way they're going about it, the way this group went about it,
Just not good
I call it the
strategy.
snack pack.
Oh, they're the snack or the non-snack pack.
Well, yeah, I call them the
The
snack
non-snack pack.
because it was so poorly planned and executed.
That they had to put out a you eat snacks.
That's
not good. That's not good. That does not give people confidence in your movement when you forget the snacks. I'm just saying.
It's not even that. They got a guy killed. They got a passionate, probably a decent human being killed.
Yeah, probably a decent human being killed. Yes.
Because a bunch of guys got together and like, yeah, man, these ranchers, they're being exploited. Well, yeah. Well, and African Americans weren't exploited in the South back in the 40s and 50s and 60s, but there was a movement and it worked, and it was a peaceful movement. I think that's a good.
It worked to an extent, but it.
What?
The movement ultimately, I don't think the movement did work. What it did was it raised up some people's freedom and lowered a whole bunch of other people's freedom, rather than letting everybody be free.
Argument, yes.
Yeah.
You can say that Lincoln freed the slaves and enslaved the free. You can say you can go in.
All you got to do is mention Civil Rights Act and the power that the Civil Rights Act gave the government.
Right.
Which we will cover in another show, I'm sure.
Yes. But in this circumstance, a peaceful protest and direction would have probably gotten them a lot more than having their friend killed in the long run. If they had camped out in this town and had protest after protest after protest and made the international news, that would have been a far more effective tool than going in and saying, and we'll die if we have to.
Right.
Well,
How melodramatic.
Yeah, well...
now remember when they say it, by the way, I want to make this clear. They're saying, we'll die if we have to. They're waving the same flag that those FBI agents have sewed on their jackets. I don't know if they made that connection. It'd be like if the Jedi all wore Darth Vader masks. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, it'd be like if, Americans like
it's one group of patriots.
What if the Jews were waving Nazi flags as they led a revolt to get out of a concentration camp? It would be kind of weird.
Well, it's one group of patriots against another group of patriots.
Well, yeah, except the flag is not serving you. The flag is serving them.
The state.
The state, right. But you're sending your children to school, and your children are saying, I pledge allegiance to that flag.
Yeah.
The flag that shows...
But don't you agree that a peaceful protest would have been... I mean...
Well, yeah, totally, absolutely.
This movement came out of a peaceful protest.
The peaceful protests were the way to go. And they maybe something would have built up. Now, it was unfortunate that they picked this county, or the county picked them, or what was it, Harlan County, whatever the hell it's called. This county is like 40% of the people work for the government. It's a government county. You wonder why the county doesn't support these guys? It's because the county is the government. It's a government town. That's why they're not getting support from the locals. That's not put out there too much.
Which must have perplexed them. It's like, where is everybody?
And then they're like, oh, this is a government town? Oh, man. We picked a government county. I want to say one more thing before we end this segment. But if you want to say more, then we won't. But the police have this mentality that if you're running away or you're driving away,
you're guilty.
No, that's not where I'm going. No. If you're running away, you're driving away, it's more important for them to kill you than for you to get away. Now, these guys haven't committed any kind of act of violence. They took over, and they took over this reserve thing. They walked into it. That's it. There was no gunfights. There's no violence. It's just like,
There were no.
yeah, we're gonna go ahead and occupy this. They're occupiers. What's wrong? Like Occupy Wall Street.
Well,
They're occupiers.
There were no hostages, were there?
There were no hostages.
They were like little kids running around for some time.
Yeah, they had families there. They demonstrated. I mean, they had guns, but they weren't. I mean, the guys. Nobody fired on the feds, as far as I know. Nobody pointed guns at the feds. But this is the mentality of the police, of the authority.
Well, you live in a police state at this point in our history.
Well, my point is this, and I'm going to go back to the Everytown mom crap with this tweet, whether they said it or not. The tweet said something to the effect of, "It's better to endure the 10 minutes of rape than it is to deal with a lifetime of guilt of killing someone." Something to that effect. Basically, don't get a gun and don't kill anyone. Now, that's what they said. So let's use the same logic with the government. It is better for someone to escape who you have no proof that is any kind of serious threat to the community. They haven't committed any act of violence. It is better to let that person get away than to kill them.
Well, that would be a logical.
I would think it would be
argument.
Humane. It would be liberty. It would be what America's supposed to stand for. It's not like if they get away that you never can catch them. You don't have an opportunity to catch them. I'm not talking about like, somebody just robbed a bank and shooting his face up. Yeah, you do whatever you can do to shut that guy down.
But the way our police are trained, it's shoot first and ask questions later. Oh, I mean, you look at that. You look at incidents where the guy was pulling out his wallet and it was misconstrued as a gun and they shot him down. It's like, well, the police did what they were supposed to do. They followed their training. There was
the guy said, "Get your in the gas station."
Yeah,
get your wallet. Let
me see your wallet.
Let me see your ID. And the guy's going to get his ID.
Right, and he pulls a black wallet out of his car.
Perfectly normal. Well, perfectly understand. Just a mishap.
But the cops here are trained to shoot first and ask questions later and to make sure they make it home at night. Well, there's a problem with that training. You're assuming that everyone that you encounter is a potential murderer.
Right.
That's not a peacekeeping force. That's not a peace officer. That is a military operation. I would expect that from Nazis in World War II, where my father as a child had to encounter and act with Nazis, SS, officers of the Third Reich. Ruthless men.
Yeah.
Yes. You would expect that from them who saw you as subhuman.
But if you're looking at the general populace,
right.
If you're looking at the general populace as a ticking time bomb ready to kill you,
not every cop does.
You shouldn't own a freaking gun.
But there are lots of good and decent cops.
Well,
I know many.
You shouldn't have a gun and a badge.
90% of cops are good and decent human beings with wives and families and loved ones that they care about. And they do the right thing every day.
Mm-hmm.
But you have that 10% that takes that training. And I'm not going to say they abuse it, because they're not abusing their training. They are using the training exactly as how they were taught,
right,
with very little discretion. And they are implementing that training, and they are killing innocent people.
And there's a lot more people that are killed by cops than cops getting killed.
Oh, without question. Because all cops have guns, and not all citizens are shooting at cops.
Right. So have we said our piece here? Have we? I mean, there's so much more that we could say about this. My angle actually was really mostly about, you got a story here that can go either way. And I bet you even when that video comes out, you'll find a way to make it ambiguous, to question.
I'll find a way.
Not you personally, but in general. The people who want it to be this way will find a reason to say it's this way. The people who want it to be that way will find a reason for it to be that way. And Black Lives Matter set the precedent. Right. Dude, it's not about the facts. It's about the rhetoric. It's about the energy, the passion, So,
So why
get
is
them
this-
together and everybody, come on, man. Everybody
are the
raise them
Bundys-
hands up.
Why are the Bundys not telling everybody to leave the compound? You should leave. Go. It's over.
Maybe killed because they got a man killed.
But they were all prepared to die if they had to.
Until it became reals. Until it became for Willow is, it's like when you came over to my house the other day and you said, dude, I am all about physical hard labor. I love it. I can't get enough of it. And I mean, and that's who I am. And I said, okay, let's go out back. Let's cut some wood. Let's get some work done. After about 10 minutes, you were like, remember, you got that hangnail? And you were like, dude, there's blood. And you were out. You talked a big game, but when the blood got drawn and the little pinky got hurt, you're like, no! That's what happened. Yeah.
I don't think so.
I think that's an accurate depiction of reality.
No, I don't. I don't think it's guilt. I think it's
no. I didn't say
how many
guilt
more
there.
charges.
Well, fear. Yeah, exactly.
How
but
many more charges of murder do you want Mr. Bundy to be thrown against you? Because we're going to prosecute you for his murder.
Not only that, but we're looking at your families. Yeah. We're looking at that property that you live on right now. Yeah, we got stuff. We can do stuff. Yeah, that's probably what's happening.
Power has asserted itself.
Yeah, power has asserted itself.
And they're feeling the power now of the state coming down hard. They got cocky because of what happened in Nevada.
This is the best case scenario for the police, for the FBI. A little bit of violence is good for them. A lot of violence would have been bad. A big time shootout with lots of dead would have been really bad for the government. But this was good. And how did they know? They have informants. They most assuredly have informants within their group. So you're never safe.
Are you one of them?
When you draw a large group together and you don't know everybody intimately over a long period of time, you're asking for trouble. New people show up and you're like, I'm passionate. I love the flag. And maybe you should think about that. Do you think we're ready to move on to our last segment here?
Sure, why not? So
I'm just going to play this. I don't know if I've ever told anybody in the show, but Dimitri is Greek.
Dude, that was a secret.
This is relevant.
With a name like Dimitri Bozikis.
I don't get it. I thought that was Italian, like slow Italian or something. It's like, oh, you're one of those slow Italians.
Well, that's like high German and low German. This was a low Greek.
Yeah, low Greek. Okay. No, slow Italian. Slow Italian. It's like not too many syllables on this one.
If I unplug this, what will happen to your microphone? You should move
I
on.
will not hear. Okay, are we ready to move on,
Please.
Mr. Greek man? Are we ready?
Please.
All right.
Greece has responded firmly to a draft report by the European Commission that has severely criticised its role in the migrant crisis. The evaluation from November found that Athens seriously neglected its obligation to control the frontier of the passport-free Schengen zone. Border controls could be reimposed, effectively suspending Greece from Schengen. Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras said, we have made commitments. We've made progress on these commitments. We'll be completely ready with regard to the commitments in a month. What remains to be seen is whether Europe will meet its commitments towards Greece and toward an international problem. The refugee crisis isn't a Greek crisis. It's a European crisis. And we must find European solutions for European problems. Migrants were not methodically registered, checked and fingerprinted in November, according to the dossier. Athens is likely to be given 3 months to improve, after which neighbouring Schengen states could be advised to reintroduce border controls. Euronews correspondent Stamatis Giannissis says Greece has promised its EU partners that it will have at least 5 immigration registration centres ready in a respective number of Western Aegean islands by mid-February. Meeting this deadline may greatly appease the critics of the Greek government, who feel that Athens has not done as much as it could have in recent months.
What do you feel about that last sentence? Athens has not done as much as it could have.
Well, I don't think Portugal has done as much, and Sweden for that matter.
Well,
has done as much.
Sweden's getting raped, so they've
Well,
done
they're
a
getting
lot.
raped. Yeah, no.
They've done a
What
lot. We've
about-
covered that.
What about any of the landlocked European countries?
Britain.
Well, no, I'm thinking like Austria. Like Austria has borders.
But
with
you
the
said
Alps.
landlocked, and I say Britain.
Yeah,
Good. That's that fluoride. That's
Yes.
what that is.
Like Austria, like they have a lot of borders with like sketchy parts of the world, like Turkey and Albania and North Africa. Oh no, they don't. But they're
I was getting a little confused. I was like, hold on, what map are you using?
yeah, no, they don't.
Oh, that was sarcasm.
Yeah.
I get it. I
That
get
was
it.
sarcasm. So now the Greeks over there, they didn't bomb anybody in the Middle East, did they? They didn't start any wars over there.
Yeah, they
No.
did. They used Greek fire, and they totally
That was
set on fire a bunch of
1242.
Turkish ships.
And the Russian ships
Yeah, but
too.
we still remember.
Yeah,
They did it.
So these refugees are not because of any Greeks bombing countries in the Middle East. These refugees exist because Syria was started up by the Turks and the Saudis primarily
And the Americans.
to overthrow Assad. These are Iraqis and Afghanis and Sudanese and North Africans who we helped create the Arab Spring.
Well, we made the whole Libya thing stable now. It's like so much better than it was.
Much better.
I mean, it
So-
used to be that you had like one murder a week in Libya town, and now
It's
they've
one a
improved
minute.
it. Now it's like one a minute, dude.
Yeah.
That is productivity.
So the Greeks are dealing with a problem they didn't create with limited resources. I think I ran the numbers and it was something like they're getting 2,000 people a day to show up on these little islands. 2,000 people a day that have to be processed. That's like New Jersey having to deal with 2,000 people a day that just show up along the shore. And then if you weren't in the wrong line, oh my God, if you were in the wrong line, you had to come back the next day.
Wow.
It was,
I remember,
that's what you're talking about. They
but
want,
the DMV is still not awesome.
no,
But it's
but
less,
it's way better.
it's not hideous.
Right.
The DMV, we are no longer hideous.
So
We still suck, but we're no longer hideous.
So now the Europeans are pissed off with the Greeks. And to make things worse, Merkel announces...
Dude, that's my butt Brokas. Don't be talking bad about him. He's a good guy.
Merkel and the rest of the Europeans said, oh, we will take as many refugees as will make it to our country. We will help them.
Greece has this. Greece has got this.
200,000 people tomorrow. Oh, so you're inviting us to come.
We can do this. That's her slogan, by the way. We can
My
do this.
favorite part of this whole story is that the Germans promised the Turks $3 billion to help stem the tide of these migrants to Europe. And the Turks have done squat. They took the money. They took the $3 billion. And how many?
Didn't they just pay Justin Bieber $3 billion to do a concert?
Maybe.
I think they did.
In Turkey.
Yeah, they paid him $3 billion to do the concert. Their plan is once he gets there, it might not go good for him after that.
Yeah, it might not.
They're luring him in.
Yes. So, the Europeans create this problem with the help of America and Turkey. And now it's Greece that's the problem because they're not honoring their Schengen commitment.
Schengen.
You can have Schengens. I got Skegens.
You know what I mean? It doesn't even make sense.
Skegen.
It's SCHEN.
Skegen.
N. So what happened to the N?
Skegen.
Is the N silent? You know, have you ever tried Hooked on Phonics? Seriously. I am thinking that would be a good investment for you right now.
I'm thinking of a word.
Awesome. And you're thinking
The
of me.
first
Awesome.
letter starts with an F.
Fantastic.
The sixth letter of the alphabet.
Fantastic.
The second letter. Should I spell it all out for you?
Fantastic.
So it's like they're blaming the victim for not putting their hands up fast enough to block the punches. It's like it's all your fault. You should do a better job at protecting yourself from an assault.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
come on.
guys. I can't believe you guys. You guys are like you guys are letting people in that we don't like. It's like you're not screening good enough. By the way, we're going to go from 2,000 to 5,000 a day. Handle it.
Right.
Although they didn't say that, but
Yeah. Oh, and we're going to negotiate with the Turks. We're going to give them $3 billion
well, listen,
to help them out.
the Greeks
But
don't have anything to worry about.
Yeah.
They don't, because they have elected a man of the people who is willing to stand up to the bully Europeans. This man, as a matter of fact, this man is the hero of the farmers. Hero of the farmers.
Yes.
Right?
At this point, the farmers are protesting like crazy over there.
They're not protesting him, though, because he's a man of the people. He's hero of the farmers.
Oh, yeah.
How's he doing, by the way?
I'm surprised someone hasn't capped his ass.
Really?
Seriously, yeah. I'm pretty surprised at this point. But he took a bad situation and made
Talking
it worse.
about Cypri, by the way. Or Cyprios, or as Dimitri likes to say, Shekin.
Shekin.
Shekin. You know, it's a Shekin. You say
because he is a nationalist and he is a socialist.